married soon? Wait a minute. You have to talk about these things before marriage. Yes. If you want to learn more about this or you want to listen to my gist, then you have to keep watching. Alright guys, welcome back to Talk to Lydia, where everything is about inspiring others. If you're new here or you're seeing me for the first time on your screen, thank you. Welcome. I'm Lydia and I create content related to faith, love, relationship, and career. Alright, and to my returning subscribers, you know I like appreciating you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you all and I do not take your support for granted. Alright, let's dive right into the gist I have for you guys today. Alright, so today I'll be talking about the things to talk about before marriage. You know, one thing about marriage is that so many people go into marriage with high expectations. They go into marriage with a lot of expectations. They expect that their partner should behave in a certain type of way, or they expect so much from their partner. And what happens at the end of the day when their partner is not able to meet up to their expectations? There's frustration. Excuse me. People get upset. There are disappointments. So for you to avoid these frustrations, for you to avoid these disappointments, there are some things that you have to discuss with your partner before getting married. Now, for example, both of you already know that you're getting married. Before he has proposed to you, you have said yes. Let it not just end there. Don't just go ahead and start picking at Shoebi without talking about these important things, all right? Because trust me, when expectations are not met, there will be frustration, there will be disappointment, you'll be so upset with your partner. So today let's talk about this. Number one, you have to talk about your financial goals. Yes, you have to talk about your financial goals. See, finance is a very important aspect of marriage. Yes, finance is a very important aspect of marriage. And some of the marriages that are broken today, or some of the marriages that are having problems today, make most of them is because of finance. Hence, you want to talk about this important aspect of marriage before going into it. Like I said, don't just, oh, you're supposed to be, and the next thing, let's go and pick a B. The color of the day is turquoise blue, lavender purple, oríṣiríṣi color, and then you just feel, oh, that's all about, that's the only thing you need. No, you have to talk about these things, financial goals. You ask your partner. See, no matter how busy both of you are, no matter how busy you think you are, it's so busy, there's no time. You must create time to discuss these things, all right? What you have to ask your partner, what are your financial goals? Are we going to have a joint account or a separate account? Now, there's a whole lot to joint account. So if you know you want to run a joint account with your partner, you have to be very careful. You have to talk about it. And you have to know the kind of person this your partner is. Is it prudent? Is she prudent? Is this person a spender, somebody that will just spend without, I would say, without conscience? The person can just wake up one morning and say, oh, the Holy Spirit ministered to me that I should carry all our money and give to someone, or the person can just come one day and just tells you, oh, that I've used the money to do this without informing you. If you know this, if yours is that your own partner does not know how to spend, or they spend anyhow, they mishandle money, they are not accountable, then you may not want to run a joint account with them, because running a joint account with this kind of person will definitely bring problem. Yes, you don't want to keep having problems in your home because of mismanagement of funds or because of finance. So if you know, you have to study the kind of partner. And of course, how do you study your partner? You are in a relationship with this person, you should be able to know one or two things about this person. You should be able to have learned one or two things about this person when it comes to spending, when it comes to the way they spend. All right. And also, they talk about savings. How do we save? Like in my home, let me use myself for example. We have savings, right? We even have an emergency purse together. This is a purse that we have in the house. It's just somewhere in the house where we drop any amount you have for any every day. You drop a certain amount of money there, and that money, trust me, it really helps. On days that I may just come back from work and I might not even remember to withdraw money for the next day, I can quickly borrow money from that purse and use it. It's something that we both had that discussion, right? And I must refund it, or that's the point. Whatever money you take from that purse, you must fund it because it's an emergency fund. For example, we run out of gas unexpectedly or lights, and then you're at home, you don't have cash on your hand. You go back to that purse, you go to the purse. That's what the purse is meant for. So we also have other savings accounts about an emergency purse. So we talk about savings. How do we save? Oh, we need to get this. Are we going to? Is it something that we will do together, or is it something that one of the partner can afford to carry the whole responsibility by his or herself? But if you're going to do it together, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? It is very, very important to talk about these things before marriage. Finances is an important aspect of marriage because I usually tell people who care to listen that there is virtually anything. See, when I got married, in fact, my eyes opened about this finance and money issues in marriage. See, there's actually nothing you want to do in the house or in your marriage that does not require money. So it's a very, very important aspect of marriage that has to be, you have to talk about it, all right, before getting married. So that's point number one. Point number two is also an essential part that in fact, you have to talk about. You should talk about it before marriage. Don't just don't go into marriage assuming things, or you just think, okay, my partner will do this. He should allow me to do this, and particular aspect I'm about to talk about. Women are always at the receiving end. Hence, you have to talk, as in you have to discuss this. All right, you have to talk about the nature of your job. That's number two. Nature of your job. Talk about work. Don't just assume. It's not every man. Let me tell you this. It's not every man that wants their wife to work. That's that's a fact. I want you to know. So don't just assume. Oh, he knows I'm working. We are dating. He knows I'm working class. He knows I have a business. So of course, you just some people don't even think about it. It is until they get married and when the man is telling them, I want you to stay at home to take care of the house. Some men are like that. Let me tell you, there was a time I was writing a professional course. Okay, with my friends, we in the class, we are attending lectures, and we're preparing for exam, and I don't even know who started the conversation or what started the conversation. I just said the guy asked me, okay, Lydia, now, so you want to tell me now that all these books you're reading, you're actually going to, when you get married, you're actually going to be running up and down, you'll be doing this career thing, you'll be working and everything. And I'm like, I don't understand. And the guy is saying that he cannot allow his wife to work. This guy I'm talking about, when you see him, you look at him two times because he's handsome. So if any girl, I can say he's every girl's dream. So when you see that kind of guy that this guy is a career guy, he loves to work. This guy will definitely want his wife to work. You don't just assume that because I was really I was so disappointed when I heard that from him, and I'm like, when you are not a bitch or wizard, it's only a bitch or wizard that we don't want somebody to eat the fruit of their labor. I never be going through this stress. Studying for a professional course. I'll go to work, come back to class to read. I'll go to work the next day. It's like a routine. Work class. That's how I usually do it then. And then what you're saying, I'm not going to work with this. I don't get it. So some people are just like that. I've heard it from two guys. Like two guys. There was even one that was even asking me out then. He was still asking me out. I've not even said yes. And then was telling one of his friends that this course is too stressful. Career thing is too stressful. She should just go into business. I'm not saying everybody knows what they want. Some people like business. Some women love business and some women love their career, an 8 to 5 job. So that's the reason why you have to talk about it before you get married. Don't just assume that this guy would allow you to work. Like, let me use myself as an example. I like to share my experience a lot. Something I know that I usually ring in my husband's ear when we were dating is the fact that Oga, I will work. I will work. I cannot be doing. There are some times that I will be reading. My mates are sleeping, snoring in the cold. It's during hot season. I'll be in the class studying, and sometimes I'm just like, nobody can just tell me that Lydia just stop this because ordinarily, if I don't want to work with my certificate, if I don't want to to do anything with my qualifications, I won't stress myself. That's the truth. The stress is just too much for me to now go into a man's house and the man will just, because oh he's the head of the house, women we have to submit to our husbands, and then you just tell me no, don't tell me that. In fact, we had a discussion to the extent that I told him at any point in our home that we are trying to, okay, there's something and we are trying to resolve, or we are trying to create a balance. Please don't let my job, don't let it be at the expense of my job. Don't let my job be the solution to that problem. We are always going to look for a way forward. We are always going to look for a better option. My job, me quitting or leaving my job should not be that option. I don't know if there will be any time or any point in my life that perhaps it may come for me and I'll just feel like, oh, I just want to stop job, or I just want to stop my job and go into business. But trust me, let it come from me. Let it be that I'm the one that wants to quit because I want to go into another aspect, or I want to go into business. Not that you're mandating me to quit my job. So do not just assume that this man will allow you to work. He will allow you to work. Don't assume that. Talk about it. If there's something I know that we spoke about countless of times in my relationship while my husband and I were dating, it was this aspect. I want to work. That's why I am doing all this. I love to work. Before he met me, even while I was single, I've been working all my life. As a matter of fact, I started working when I was 16. I just hate being idle. I like to have my own money, no matter how little it is. I like to I just love to be independent. That's the kind of person. That's how God wired me. So I will not go into marriage with somebody that we that would now, because of one thing or the other, tell me to stay at home to take care of the children. We will always take care of our children together. After all, it is not women have children or the woman has children. It is both the man and the woman that have the children. So we will always come together to talk about anything, or to face any problem or resolve any issue. My job, me quitting my job should never be an option. So we had that discussion. I think maybe it's because I'm just so passionate about this particular aspect, because I've seen a lot of women, and I'm not joking, I've seen a lot of women who go into marriage with the hopes of, with the intention of working, and at the end of the day they got married to a man that told them you cannot work in my house. Some men have, they still have that mentality. I'm seeing it. Some men would tell you that I want my wife to stay at home. It's not as if they mean any harm. They just want her to be at home, take care of the children. When I come back from work, I don't want to hear that I'm held up in traffic. I'm coming. Dinner is not ready. Once he's getting home, he goes to the bathroom to have a shower. He wants to come back to meet his food. He doesn't want to hear that I'm at work. I'm preparing the reports. No. So some people are just like that. Don't just assume things. And this is basically for women, because women are always at the receiving end. So please, I know I'm over emphasizing on this, so please talk about it. Let him know, Oga, I will submit, oh, I will do everything, oh, but I will work. I will work, even if it's your business. Now let's talk about this. You have to talk about your work and also talk about the nature of your job. It is very, very important. Talking about the nature of the job as well. Even if you are an entrepreneur, there are some periods in your business that are your peak period, or that is your peak period. For example, let me use fashion designers or hairdresser as an example. When it's festive period, it's usually your peak period. So you have to talk about it. When it's talk about it that okay, when it's our peak period, I'll have to spend more time at work. I'll have to some of them even do work extra time. They work overnight. So imagine you're getting married to somebody that does not understand this, that expects you that you usually close your shop at 6, and during festive period he expects you to be at home by that 6 o'clock, and when you don't get home, when you don't get home by that time, there is a problem. Please, you have to let them know the nature of your job. I actually have an hairdresser close to me that December period she works overnight, and I'm so most times I'll sue her husband when it's in the evening. He comes to the shop to help her take the children home. That's because there is an understanding. They already have an understanding that this is a peak period. She has to be in the shop. She like this one. She works like overnight. She works all through the night. So there's an understanding and there's no problem. There won't be problem because this person understands the nature of the job. Even most people that do 8 to 5. For example, I'm an accountant, and most of the times, month end is usually very tedious for us because it's a period where we prepare our reports, monthly report, and all that. So it will require most times I have to come home, I have to work during the weekend, I have to stay extra time at work to do my job. And this is not a problem because my husband understands the nature of my job as well. So let your husband or your partner know the kind of job you're into. Tell them that tell them the nature of your job so that when you eventually get married there won't be